So did we manage to get through chapter 6?
I've gone all the way through. I've cheated. I've gone all the way to the end, and I'm back on listening to chapter 6 again.
Yeah, good on you, Ross.
Yeah, no, it's really fun now. I'm engaged.
It's a terrific book. I listened to the complete audio when I first got it several months ago, and then I read it, and now I kind of hop between reading the chapters or listening to a chapter, depending on where I'm at.
Yeah, one of the Carolyn had mentioned that she's reading it at the same time as listening to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
She's finding that's working really well for her. And it was funny because she's like, "Oh, this book and this audio is interesting." And it's funny, Russ, because you remember when you listened to the first chapter,
Yes.
and you were asking those questions. So how do you feel now you've gone right the way through?
It's more than I expected. It's better than I expected, but let me say why. What I've developed is an appreciation for Hill being ahead of his time, because he's talking about things that were and you could say he actually discovered, I don't know if he discovered them, but things that have been the underlying truths in personal development, certainly since my learning began back in the 70s. Things like dominant thought thinking, which of course was the cornerstone of Lou Tice and the Pacific Institute. You know, he talked a lot about dominant thought thinking. And then of course, I've had an ontological path, which deals a lot with the mind. And that's why last week I said, you know, for me, my interpretation here is looking at it through looking through the perspective of years. I think that the mind is the devil. The mind created the devil. It certainly created it in this case. But the way I'm really interested in the way the devil speaks about the mind. That really is what fascinates me, the exchange between the two, and the way the devil refers to the mind and control, and how he controls, you know, he can control the mind if somebody's drifting, but could they control the mind? The truth is the mind, and this is my opinion, is the mind is, as I said last week, is both a master and a slave. But it's our relationship to the mind that is so interesting, because we are not our mind. We are not, and there's lots of evidence to that. So the mind is something else other than us, just like the devil is. Yeah. And just as a really funny thing, do you remember when he was talking about luck?
Yeah.
Remember when he talks about luck? I went back when he spoke about luck. I thought, isn't it interesting that Lucifer and luck have the same first 3 letters? You know, and luck is the concept. You know, I was told once that luck is, you know, it's not really so, but what an interesting instrument of the devil luck would be, right? Actually thinking that there's something out there called luck. Of course, it's an illusion, like so much is. It's just a pigmentation. Anyway, that's enough of me.
Oh, well, you know, you made me realize, just reflect back to when I was listening to Bob Proctor, and I'm not sure if it was in one of his seminars, Born to be Rich or something like that. It was one of his seminars, and he's saying around that you are not your mind, and the mind's never been found, so it's not even physical.
Yeah, so, no, you can't cut somebody open up and see their mind.
Yeah,
you know,
and he was saying and I really, because I haven't listened to it for quite a while, I'm just bringing it back from memory here. But he was talking around, they go in and they educate doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists around this area, which is challenging for them, because I believe that a lot of us have been led to believe the mind is the brain.
Right. Like, that's exactly the paradigm. And the thing is, if you were your mind, or you could control your mind, you could stop thinking, couldn't you? So good luck with that. You can't stop thinking. There's my Patty. Hi, Patty.
Hey there, Russ. What a great person to listen to while I hop on 2 minutes late. You're already in the middle of such good mind stuff. What can I say? Good to see you all.
He was like a greyhound, Paddy. He was out that
Out of the gate,
That's
after the
right.
rabbit. It's a mechanical
Yeah.
rabbit, Russ.
Right.
So it's a pleasure to have you all with us. We'll go through the principles before we dive in a bit deeper into what we got from chapter 6. And I've put something together that I would love for a little bit of feedback. It should only take us maybe 5 minutes. I wouldn't have thought it'd be longer than that. And then anything else we want to cover. So with regards to the mastermind principles, I'll give you all a number and we'll go from there. So Karen, you'll be number 1. Fiona, number 2. Ross, number 3. Myself, number 4. And Paddy, last but not least, number 5.
Thank you.
Some would say save the best till last, but I really don't want to upset everybody else. So,
Fair enough.
I'll share my screen. Okay, so just give me a thumbs up when you can see it. And then I'll let you go, Karen.
The purpose of the mastermind is to learn leadership, build teams, and create multiple sources of income together.
We are here to inspire and challenge each other to reach and exceed goals.
Each member is committed to their own success as well as the success of every member of the group.
We are committed to meeting in person or virtually for 1 hour every week.
We are present. There is no multitasking or distractions during meetings.
We are collaborative. We listen without interrupting, lecturing, or judging.
We celebrate each other's successes without jealousy.
We're honest and participate by giving thoughtful feedback.
We are open and listen to different perspectives without being defensive or offering excuses.
We trust fellow members enough to share fully.
We are focused, but we also think it's important to have fun during meetings.
We are real and authentic. This is a no BS zone.
We allow ourselves to become completely aligned with each other and higher forces, one mind, one soul, one love.
Noble Goldman International is a conscious, aware, and engaged global community of abundance and freedom creators.
Our mission is to create 1 million millionaires who are free from the time for money paradigm. We focus on creating multiple streams of income through masterminding, team building, and the effective utilization of the internet-based platforms.
The mastermind becomes an opportunity for self-mastery, where the self-transcendent shift from the me to the we to the us occurs. As congruence and engagement increases, the world's consciousness is then raised, one meaningful and inspired relationship at a time.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing and setting that foundation for us all. So we'll stick to our numbers. Just in case, who has gone through chapter 6 and got notes together? Just keep your hand up, just so I can see. So, yep. Okay, no problem, Paddy. All good. So you can make what you want of it from our feedback. So
Awesome. I will catch up.
Let's have a couple of minutes each in regards to what you took away from chapter 6, and then share how you feel you can incorporate it into your life. So, well, there's only a few of us, so we'll do 2.5 minutes. So I'll let you go first, Karen.
On the hot seat first out of the gates. Okay. Well, I just love this book anyway. But some of my takeaways on this, some of the notes that I jotted down, the hypnotic rhythm. I am prone to drifting, and I'm extremely mindful of it since discovering this book, quite honestly. Because when I first started it, I was horrified at how many of my habits were listed on the drifting list. I was like, wow, I thought I was doing better than this, but apparently not. So as far as the implementation, well, one of the things that caught me here was that fear opens the door to drifting. And I've often found myself fearful of things unsure of things, and it came back to a self-confidence thing for me. So now, and I've been doing this for some time now, is when I fearful of anything, I break it down to figure it out and kind of back my way from the fear to find out where it is. And then I usually end up dissipating it, quite frankly. So, because by breaking it down, it gets removed. So that was really great. I like I'm relatively new to masterminds. So obviously I'm implementing the masterminds, and I'm loving every second of it. I used to think that I didn't belong in these groups, that I was with all the smarty pants and I didn't belong there. And I find that I do feel that I have much to contribute. I always leave with more, I feel, than I contribute, but I do my best. This chapter was a reminder for me that when we're off guard and like it says in the book, when you're not using your mind, drifting and the hypnotic rhythm sets in. And since really taking a look at and breaking down what hypnotic rhythm is, I am very mindful of not allowing that to happen, because it seems to me that, as it states in the book, that the rhythm, the hypnotic rhythm, the rhythm portion is kind of the last nail in the coffin on a bad habit. And while anything can be turned around, it just means that there's going to be more work. So I'm personally just trying to keep the nails out. And let me see, what else do I have here? And also a reminder that I have more control over my mind and my thoughts than what I give credit to. I like to quote that non-drifters can create opportunities. And I'm always looking for new opportunities here, there, or wherever. Obviously, Noble Goldman is kind of a silver platter of opportunities, so that's really awesome. And also that I'm mindful of the law of attraction, but I need to lean on it more than I have been. And that's it. On to the next one.
That was excellent.
Great shares.
I love
fantastic. Yeah. Really, really powerful, Karen. And,
Thank you.
And I'll speak from my side. It is an absolute honor and pleasure to have you with us. So
Well,
please don't, certainly from my side, please don't feel that you aren't the smartest person in the room, because we don't even come from that place of judgment. We're just grateful to have you with us. So thank you.
Yes.
That's one of the things I've learned, and I appreciate that. And I certainly appreciate this group and all of you.
Thank you.
Great. So Fiona.
Okay. So I listened to this. I've listened several times, and then this morning I thought I'll just have a quick listen again while I was in the shower. And it was like having a meeting with a friend. It was a really awesome feeling. It was sort of like, oh, I know this. And it really resonates with me, because in my life, that hypnotic rhythm thing or habits, I know that I feel better when I have good habits and when I have those daily rituals and all that. And I've been clawing back to getting back to that sort of thing. So for me, it really resonated, into my soul. And even that the devil guy, he's actually starting to sound a bit friendly.
Seductive.
The thing was that, those habits that come from the hypnotic rhythm, that we can just get sucked into, a bit like, being carried along on the wave sort of thing, the up and down, and you can be lulled into a false sense of security, and that you suddenly realize that you're actually now in a bad habit, not a good habit. Having something like Noble Goldman to give you an anchor and a roadmap, if you like, and that accountability is really, I really need that sort of thing. I've always been a leave it to the last minute, like to have deadlines, and I work really well under the thumb, but give me free rein and I'm just off wandering anywhere. So yeah, and then the other thing was that about the fear and how, you know, how easy it is in this current situation to let yourself get caught up in that fear thing that you know, even though logically and rationally I know that, you know, really there's just so much bullshit around, but and that we do win in the end because I've read the end of the book. But yeah, it's, you have to actually guard your heart and mind against, you know, letting that fear sort of take over. And then again, that comes back to having those good habits so that you're filling your mind with the positive stuff. I don't know if anyone saw what Kim Serafini posted this morning, a beautiful little video, and it was a lady talking about minimizing the negative and accentuating the positive, and how we can just totally change our lives by just, you know, having a mantra of saying, you know, one positive thing over and over again. So yeah, I thought that that's really what we've got to do in this day and age. We've got to lock on to the positive and build that up, focus on that, and then the devil can't get a foothold, and we win. Yeah, and then luck will come our way. Yeah, that's my take.
Perfect. Fantastic shares there, Fiona. I actually have, I've already got 2 big takeaways from you and Karen. So, crikey, there's going to be a few more than 3. Thank you. Ross?
Yeah, there's so much here. I'm trying to pick my favorite thing to talk about this, but I have something to share with you. I had kind of fun, like pretending that I was Napoleon Hill in this interview. I actually did that. I had like a little fantasy where it was me listening to what the devil was saying, and I got this urge to like slap him, you know, but there was so much value in what he said about fear. Like I was really in love with that topic, because fear to me is it's very primal. It's a very primal emotion. You know, it goes back, you know, till when we were, you know, just, you know, early bipeds, you know, and afraid of getting eaten. And now today, fear is, we learned to be rational. You know, we're not afraid of the boogeyman. But the thing about fear that I noticed is how fear prevents us from being present. In other words, when we're thinking about something we're afraid of, we're not thinking about anything else. So when you know, we get spooked about whatever the fear is, the fear is what's in our mind. So it's like fear is, and look, this is much easier spoken than done. Sure, I've been afraid, I've been terrified, but it's like John Wayne had a famous quote, you know, fear, you know, he said that courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway, you know, and there's another great quote about fear from Tennyson. Alfred Lord Tennyson said, cowards die 1,000 deaths, but the brave know fear but once. And you know, and those things about fear that were here, what I saw and what I got from it is how when we resist fear, like, and when I say resist is like, we don't want to be afraid. We're not supposed to be afraid. We're afraid. We're terrified. We're scared to death. And that, all that stuff is going on in our head, and we can't think. We can't be present to what's there, because those are and that's the best, probably the most valuable thing about fear is noticing it. When you notice fear, see, the thing about fear is it's there, and we don't notice it. We don't think, oh my gosh, fear, I'm afraid. We're just afraid. We're just fearing something. Sometimes it's just like fear of not being able to pay the bill. Oh my God. And these things happen to me every day. I'm present of something that I'm afraid of. I'm aware of something. But as soon as I'm aware of it, it disappears. As soon as I see it, it goes away. It's not seeing it that grips us and guides our actions. So the biggest thing, my biggest takeaway from this about fear was how the devil talked about the mind and fear of death and fear of all these things that we don't know. Those are the things that distract us and keep us out of choice, keep us from being present. And it's not noticing it. That's the big part. When we notice it, it goes away. When we notice it, we have a choice. When we notice it, we go, oh yeah, there that is. And that's why I wanted to tell the devil he was full of it, you know. Anyway, that's for me.
Thanks for sharing that, Ross. Yeah, I love that. I love that you took yourself into that space, and maybe Fiona can woo the devil in, and you can come across and slap him. So
just get him in close enough. Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to know your arm length, as in like what they know about the boxers, the arm length. So
well, I'm more built like Rocky. I get all I need to do is get in close, man. Get in close. Yeah. Stay away from the dad.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I believe it's me now. So there were so many golden nuggets right the way through chapter 6. And I know that I mentioned last week on last week's call. For me, because I was listening to it a lot whilst I was in the gym, I was trying to get my head around what hypnotic rhythm was. And it eventually landed. But what I found, what was really interesting throughout chapter 6 was that, I've got it written down here, the power of connection to another mind is what can push the devil away. Through the power of masterminding with another who has a similar vision and thought process, etc. Which made me then think about my partner Beth, because he was talking around like Napoleon and Napoleon's wife, and that power of them masterminding.
Right. Yeah, when he found his love, he lost his grip.
Yeah, and that really made me to think about, you know, I'm so blessed and grateful for each of you and all the people that would choose to jump on the masterminds and the Noble Gorman community. But then what about the mind that's around you all day long, or like in the workplace, or your partner, or whatever it may be, your family, your friends? And I'm so fortunate that, and I am fortunate that Beth's there, but I also believe I manifested, because when I did a vision board a few years ago, I said exactly what I wanted in a female partner. And Beth ticks pretty much all the boxes, especially up here with an angle of vision and drive and where we're going. And I'm one of those people that the vision's clear, the goals are clear. I'm just going to do the work that's needed. I don't see it as work. I'm stepping into my vision. I'm stepping into achieving my goal. Now, having somebody who also chooses to do that, because it's certainly not me dictating that it should be done, but chooses to do that, then I believe creates that elevation of vibration and frequency, and therefore we are continuously pushing the devil away. I'm not saying that in this case he can't get in, but that power of that mind, and when I'm maybe unsure on something, I go straight to her. When she's unsure on something, like she calls me in. And that, because we've got a common goal, a common interest, the visions align, that's where, when I was hearing that, I went, well, I'm in a very powerful state that I've got somebody in my own home, or in our home rather, who is already in that place. But then I also have the ability to jump in here with you all and continue that growth and expand as who I am, the value, and where we're both at, as in Beth and myself. So that was what I got from chapter 6.
That's great. Yeah, there's the whole idea of hypnotic rhythm. It, you know, is for me is the force and resistance that we go through all the time. You know, like our life is like this. It's force and resistance, and force and resistance, and force and resistance. And the thing is, when you, again, it gets back to, when you notice that, when you begin to notice that, just like someone once told me about listening, and you know, I like to talk about listening a lot, even though I'm not very good at it, but I like to talk about listening. And they say that when you're listening, that when you hear, you can't be present unless you realize you're not listening. I know that sounds odd, but think about it, because when we're intensely listening to somebody and there's other thoughts, like we're discussing this book and Martin makes a point about it, and we think, oh, you know what I was, you know, that's right. We're not there. We just checked out because we're thinking about our thoughts about what Martin just said. And the thing is, when you start to notice that about yourself, how often you check out in a conversation. It's incredibly valuable because you can be, then you can, as soon as you see it, you can return. You go, oh, there that is, and boom, you're right back again. But that is something that I learned a long time ago, and it's curious because I cannot master it. I don't care how much I try to be present and how much I've learned about generating listening. There's always listening, the listening we're born with, the automatic reflexive listening that's always there. And that's the devil, that's the mind, that's that's what they're talking about. And that was really occurred for me when he started talking about hypnotic rhythm.
Yeah, thanks for sharing the.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Really helped me understand how I often drift off thinking of things in my life, especially when we're on a mastermind and we're listening to someone, and then we're going to come in and elaborate on whatever's been shared based on our own experience. So that's really helped me see the masterminding process from another angle as well when people are sharing. So thank you. Paddy, I know that you said you didn't do chapter 6, but is there anything you want to cover around of what you're picking up on?
You know, I don't think it's half bad to not have read something before you hear the comments of everybody, because it's just really, really interesting to come in with a blank slate of what was said in the book. Now I have 4 different people's takeaways, but I have no idea what my own will be. I really don't, because none of the 4 of you took away anything really the same as anyone else. Your reflections are completely different. So I would just say, from my very short reflection at the end, is I sort of resist doing the chapters. That had nothing to do with why I didn't do it this week, just been over the top busy with lots of life things. But there is something to be said for coming to a group, listening to the different reflections, and realizing that now I really want to read the chapter so that I can draw my own conclusions, which won't be like any of yours, because I'm not the same as any of you, and I have my own life experiences. And I had just one thought I wanted to ask about. So when we say hypnotic rhythm, and I haven't read this chapter, can hypnotic rhythm be good? Or is it, well, good and bad is a little the wrong terminology, but can hypnotic rhythm be a positive? Or is a hypnotic rhythm more like a danger zone of fear or negativity, or something that draws us down, or something that keeps us from growing or exploring or listening better? Or can hypnotic rhythm be a positive? So that's one of the things that I thought about.
So please go for it.
Okay.
Well, Patty, I definitely think it can be a positive, because that's where I took it for forming good habits, that hypnotic rhythm, it almost becomes a second nature to you then. So that there's a thing called trance, where it's a bit like what Russ said about being present, but then once you realize you're present, you're not present because you've thought something, outside. So to me, the hypnotic rhythm, it's a bit like, it becomes your autonomic nervous system, where you can drive a car without having to actually be thinking about what you're doing. You can get to somewhere and think, hang on, how did I, maneuver that major intersection? I don't remember that, those things, which obviously at the time we were there doing it, but we don't remember, because it was just part of that whole sort of learned response. So that can be good and it can be bad, I mean, bad habits are definitely from this, just sort of getting onto the treadmill and going around and around and around like a mouse sort of thing. Yeah.
Right. So that's like like with positive prime, the subconscious mind, it's, what is really running us 80% of the time. which of
Yeah.
course it doesn't have to be all negative, but wasn't sure if that was the connotation or the
Yeah.
message in this
Yeah.
chapter, which was the hypnotic rhythm is something that we need to guard against,
Yeah.
falling into a hypnotic rhythm. So
One of the
anyway, I'll read the
examples
chapter.
that he
That's enough
used
for me.
was how musicians use it. You know, to learn how a musician learns to play. And so I do think that it can work for or against you, as most things in life can work for or against you. But I agree with Fiona 100% though, that it's more the autonomous actions. And they can be good or bad. So
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I know
Thank
you're
you for
both-
letting me share.
Yeah, I think you are both amazing with that, as are you, Patty, for what you asked. You basically told my story here twice in a row. Number one, the reason I got into this book and the reason I'm so into it now is because I hadn't read it. And I heard people speaking about it and giving me their takes. That's what enrolled me in the book. Then I couldn't wait. And what Fiona and Karen, what you just said, is that, at least this is my takeaway without spoiling anything for you, Patty, is that it's presented as good and bad. The devil is explaining it as a form of manipulation. He's saying that this is how I manipulate. This is how, you know, this is a natural thing. Everybody does it. It's easy for me because it happens organically. It's a natural process. And I use that. And on the other hand, Hill is like, yeah, okay, I got it. And what about this? And so that's what's so much fun about this thing is there's a lot of choice around it. Things aren't really presented as good and bad. It's left to the interpretation of the listener, that like the listener about what's going on. So anyway, this is what I love. I just love this. It's just perfect.
Yeah, and that's
Yay.
thanks for the shares there. And like Russ said, it was a fantastic question that you brought up there, Paddy. I know that when the perception we have based on the conditioning we've allowed to happen around the good and bad, which we know comes down to the law of polarity, and that for every bad result based on our judgment, there comes something good from it, based on how we choose to respond to it. And when you were mentioning there around the good and bad, and then with what you said, Russ, I like the way that, and we're not giving anything away in the chapters when somebody hasn't listened to it, because it's like you said, Russ, and Fiona, you went back over it several times, and I know that Karen, you've gone over this book. I think I've listened to chapter 6 possibly 9 times now, and I'm still learning and learning from it.
Getting something else.
But one of the things that the devil had said was, I love, he thrives on the church in particular talking about the devil, because that's then putting the fear in people's minds.
There. Yeah, exactly.
So you think around that, it's then how do we choose to use that? He's seen it as a good thing, but a lot of people, when they mention the devil from a religious angle, are seeing it as a negative. So there's good and bad constantly taking place. And the thing that you mentioned there, Karen, and once again, I'm not ruining this for you, Paddy, but I would like to share it based on what was shared there. When he spoke about music, and he said, the first of all, the notes are memorized in the mind, connected to one another through melody and rhythm. Repetition helps the melody become fixed in the mind. Through repetition, the musical notes blend, and then there is music. So the music doesn't happen until all of that comes together. Any impulse of thought that the mind repeats over and over through habit forms an organized rhythm. And I'm sure you can relate to this, because I downloaded a lot of music. I had like 50 gig of music of going back of CDs from years ago, and everything. I just have it on shuffle, and a song will come on from when my mum. I grew up around Motown music, and a song will come
My favorite.
from thinking of a Tuesday afternoon, coming home from school. The music's blasting. My mum's cleaning the house, and I start singing the song. Now I've not heard that song for possibly 15, 20 years. But I still know it. It's ingrained in there because of all the melody, the rhythm, everything. Subconscious has picked it up, and I'm singing along. And occasionally, if the wrong word comes out my mouth, it's obviously not my fault. It's the person singing the wrong words. I'm always right. So, but it's such a powerful. I mean, every
No,
part of this book's amazing.
it's an incredible analogy. And you know, it's always, I just feel thrown to say this. What's always fascinated me about music, when you think of all the compositions and all the different kinds and all the melodies and all the songs, there are 7 notes. 7 notes. Isn't that unbelievable? I mean, 7 notes. I mean, Elvis only used 2. You know, look what, look what he did. Basically, anyway,
AC/DC uses 3.
yeah, right. It's like,
I know that on the Gold Star call last week, Antje shared more around the subconscious. She dived quite deeply into it, and gave us an overview of what hypnotic rhythm actually is. And it was a really good share. So that's, if you want to watch that back, or just that part of it, I'm not sure when it was that she shared it, but the replay is in the Messenger chat group.
Okay.
So, but it was a really good share. Everyone got a lot of value from it. Me and Ricky were being a bit cheeky in between it, but got a lot of value from it.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I did want to just make another quick point that one of the things that I think this chapter, but the book overall, is just reinforcing the importance of using our own minds and thinking for ourselves, breaking free of a herd mentality, and really guarding against that, and to question things when it's not right in the gut. Don't just say, yeah, well, you know, so-and-so did it, or we've always done it that way. That doesn't make it right. So that was a big thing for me out of that as well.
Yeah, me too, Karen. Like, that's why he likes scientists, because scientists question. Scientists don't go with things. They just don't go with it. And it pisses him off.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's all about control.
Yep.
I thank you for your shares, and great question, opening up a few more shares there, Paddy. I've been having some really good, powerful conversations around with Mark, and as we all know, for the mission to be achieved, there needs to be millions of members in the community. So over the time, the years, however we want to look to it, the days, the weeks, the months, the growth is going to take place, but that's only going to take place from people seeing a level of value. So one of the things that is a passion of mine is creation. So I love creating stuff. And with the conversations I've had with Mark, he's now decided to start using some of the videos that I've created, which I'm totally grateful for, because at the end of the day, I don't believe that everyone will resonate with me, because they won't, but it gives people an option. So my next phase, if you will, was what I did was I created originally, if I just take it back first, I created intrigue videos that touched on the industries where I'm going, which is network marketing and coaches. They're the two, because they're the industries I'm in, and I know a lot around from my experience, I can connect and speak to those people. So I'm speaking the same language. But then to evolve from that 2.5-minute video, whatever it may be, to in some more depth where I go, okay, and like I'll use Russ as an example. Russ, you're a coach, so how does Noble Goldman, you liked my little video, but how does Noble Goldman serve you as a coach? So that's where I'm now diving into a deeper level. So rather than go over Noble Goldman as a one-size-fits-all, I'm actually going specifically to speaking from a coach's angle or a network marketer's. Now, as I've been, because I always plan things out before. I mean, as a former carpenter and builder, I'd get loads of plans and I'd look at that and then off I go and build it. So I've created a little walkthrough for the pay it forward system. Now, do each of us know what the pay it forward system is?
I don't.
Okay, great. And the reason why I say that is because my presentation might help me find out if it does make sense after I've finished.
Great.
Because I've wanted to get straight to the point with it without hopefully creating overwhelm. So I'm going to give you a walkthrough and just see if this makes sense to you. So let me, before I just dive into that bit.
While you're doing that, Martin,
Go
may
for
I
it.
ask a question?
Yeah.
May I answer your question about how Noble Goldman serves me as a coach? I mean, right off the top of my head.
I'd be absolutely honored if you would.
Okay. So here is the core, one of the core principles of my experience of coaching, which comes from one of my great coaches who's no longer alive. He told me, never trust a coach that doesn't have a coach. Now, here's the thing. When you learn coaching and you start to have some level of effectiveness at it, and I believe the key to coaching is really paying attention to who you're coaching, not you as a coach. But instead, as you grow in that dynamic of coaching, what becomes more difficult is finding someone to coach you. Okay. So instead of having to look for somebody who coaches me, who I can get coaching from, Noble Goldman provides me with coaches, people who can coach me, people who can help me grow, people who I can learn from and see what they think and see how they do and see the impact they have on others and listen to their wisdom. So it's a resource to be coached, which is, I think, probably one of the most valuable things that you can get as a coach. Coached. That's what I get from Noble Goldman.
Yeah, perfectly shared there, Russ. Thank you. I was actually going to ask you the question that was, do you believe Noble Goldman serves you from a coaching angle as a coach? So you answered the question for me before I even got to ask it.
Well, I thought you did ask it, so maybe there was something wrong with it.
I possibly did before. I mean, when you were saying it, and I know I shouldn't be wandering off and thinking about anything else, but I've often, as somebody who's my own barber, I often walk past the barber shop and I think, I wonder which barber he goes to.
Right, who cuts in there? Yeah.
Because he thinks he's the best barber in the area, highly likely. So who's he go? Well, no, I trust you because you're a good barber, but I'm the best barber.
Yeah, right.
I'll share this and let's get some feedback on it. So I was hoping I still had my document where I'd written some information down, but I can't find it. So it's not a biggie. Okay, so just give me a thumbs up, Ross, if you can see that, because you're in the corner of my screen. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll pretend I've just come into this from talking, because I'm going to create this into a whole video. So the pay it forward system helps us generate a big team of conscious aware people, and it's all built on the universal law of giving and receiving. So the pay it forward system is growing your direct team of 35 people with just 5 personally sponsored Gold Star members. This is going to be an overview of how to do it. It can grow far bigger than this. And at the bottom there with the asterisks, this is just an example of the Gold Star team of 35 people. As I mentioned, it can grow bigger. So as a Gold Star member, you pay forward your first 2 Gold Star members to the person who sponsored you into Noble Goldman. You have now activated the universal law of giving and receiving. So as you can see on the left, there's you, and now you've paid forward your first 2 members who upgrade to Gold Star. In this example, over to the right, Sue has just joined in your Noble Goldman team. Sue is your 3rd Gold Star member, becoming your first member to start building your team because you paid forward your first 2. This is now earning you 50% commission from Sue joining. You then, in this example, enroll another 4 direct Gold Star members, Tom, Val, Lynn, and Tim, earning another 4 times 50% commission. You now have a team of 5 Gold Star members. Then your 5 Gold Star members each pay forward their first 2 Gold Star members to you. earning you 10 times 50% commissions. You now have a direct Gold Star team of 15 people. Each of those 10 Gold Star members paid forward their first 2 Gold Star members to you, earning you 20 times 50% commissions. You now have a direct Gold Star team of 35 people. Your first Gold Star team member, which was Sue, enrolls her first Gold Star team member. You don't earn commission because Sue does, although this person is in your overall organization. The new Gold Star member in your organization then pays forward the first 2 Gold Star members to Sue. Sue earns 2 times 50% commission. This is then repeated across your other directs personally sponsored Gold Stars, who each receive 2 Gold Star members paid forward to them, earning them 50% commissions. Your Noble Goldman team overview. You personally enrolled 7 Gold Star members. 2 were paid forward, and you've got 4 across the line with Sue, Tom, Val, Lynn, and Tim. The Pay It Forward system gave you an additional 30 Gold Star members. You earned US dollars 3,500. Now that figure is based on each member paying the annual $200 membership. Your organization as a whole, based on this example, is 50 members, but you actually only enrolled originally 7. So you can see how fast it grows through the Pay It Forward system, which therefore later on, when we activate the MSIs, the multiple streams of income section, it creates you more income. It helps you leverage Noble Goldman to create the financial lifestyle that you desire. So that is an overview.
That was perfect. And I have seen this style done several different and illustrated several different ways, Martin, and that was very clean and I think easy to understand.
Okay, brilliant.
It was extremely clean to understand. I never had it explained to me, so now I get it. Thank you.
Welcome. Fiona?
So is it just paid up 1 level, or is it paid up 2 levels?
Just 1.
Yeah, because I haven't heard. I've only heard what Kirsty had said, and she's a bit confused. So
basically, every member that you bring in, they pay forward their first 2 Gold Stars, and because those first 2 Gold Stars become your direct line, every time when they bring in their first 2, they're paid forward to you, and then their first 2 are paid forward to
infinity.
you. Yeah, just keep your team
infinity.
Organically grows because every member that's paid forward to you has to pay 2 forward to you. Never ends. So that's the power of as I mentioned at the beginning, we activate the law of giving and receiving straight away.
Now you used an example of 7, but you're not limited to that. You could sponsor 13 or 15 or 20 Gold Star members if you wanted to.
Yeah, and that's and this is I created something, and I got Beth to come in and have a look at it, and she went, I think you can do it a bit simpler. And to be fair, it wasn't much different. So I went away and then I thought about it. I went for a walk actually, and I came back and I went, right, I'm going to try a few different things. And then I went, I think this is the easiest way for me to explain it, but at the same time, respecting the time, because the video I'm aiming to keep it under 10 minutes, ideally under 5, but that's probably unrealistic.
Well, it's an excellent graphic, and I like the way you went up instead of down, because many people illustrate it going down, which sends people into the whole thing about, oh, wait a minute, I see, hold it, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, pay it forward.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that, Russ, because the feedback that Beth said was it should be done the other way. And no, it's forward. It's got to go up.
I like it.
Forward. It's much better, and I think people that aren't familiar will receive it easier because what they're scanning for is something they've seen before. So that, I say one of the problems that we run into in network marketing with people who don't like network marketing is the people who don't like and understand network marketing had a bad experience or heard about a bad experience in network marketing. Now, everything from that point forward that looks or sounds or slightly resembles anything like the experience they had they turn it into that. It's like if they had the misfortune of, you know, having a bad experience with Amway, from now on, every network marketing company is Amway. That's like Amway. Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, Russ, probably I'm going to say 2 months ago, I came on one of the Gold Star calls, and it was just after I had done the free call before, and the guy, and you actually gave me some mentorship around this, but a guy, you basically told me to not change who I am and how I present. The guy that was on there, who's a coach, and I was in a networking group with him, and he was saying quite a few things, and I just came out with it. I just said, "Do you think that you've got a money block?" And he just paused and went quiet, and then came back and said, "I actually have." And he's been working with people for God knows how long. And straight away, but I only know that because of my experiences and stuff, especially with Fiona and I believe, Paddy, you're probably around that community. We've been talking a lot around money blocks and money mastery and so on. And it just came up to me, and he asked him, and that shifted a lot for him. And he suddenly opened up, and he wanted to be more around. So he came on the call, and I had a presentation for Noble Goldman at the end of my free call. And one of the things that I said was, if you're at the starting line of the 100-meter sprint and you stall, you are not going to win gold. Gold Star people who are Gold Star members are the people who are taking action. They are off the line and they are sprinting towards their desired success. Stallers don't achieve anything. Now, if you want to stay a free member, you can do. But if you really want to achieve your success, you need to be around the Gold Star members and experiencing a higher caliber of conversation and learning from these people. Because with all due respect, these people don't want to be staying around down at the bottom. They want to be up there around the other leaders. Well, he took that to heart big time. And the reason was I carried on, and when I came off my screen and came back to like seeing you all as I can now, all I could see was in this grin, and I was like, that's not how he normally looks. And I said, but you could feel the barriers, the wall. And I said to him, is everything all right? And he said, it's just network marketing. And I took a step back and I said, I'm curious to know how you got that Noble Goldman is network marketing based on that presentation. And he said, I used to be with a company, and he said it was Amway. And I went, okay. And he said, one of the guys there who was doing the presentation and leader, he started saying to the room, the people who don't take action are the people who will never achieve anything. And if you want to succeed in Amway, you've got to be taking action. And every person that's around you who doesn't take action isn't worth your time. And that, when I said about the staller, that took him right back into that room. And he instantly put the barrier up. And what was like, I think Kirsty was on the call, Ricky and somebody else, and they were saying, it's got nothing to do with network marketing. In all fairness, there's network marketers in it. Yes, there's an MSI section, but it's nothing to do with network marketing. And it's an affiliate model, which is single tier, so it's not an MLM.
But people will make it that. People make it that out of their experiences. I run into that all the time, and it's so interesting. And that has us think about our examples or our analogies. And I just want to throw out a candidate for something that was very valuable for me many years ago. Is my coach, who this is the second time he's been on the call tonight, but my coach said that when people are not engaged, it's as if they're a spectator at a tennis match. They're kind of watching the game. They're watching what's going on. And there are valuable distinctions that come from watching and observing how to play the game. But if you want to learn tennis, you get on the court. If you want the distinction of tennis, you play the game. You're in the game. You're not watching it. And I find that that's really true of leadership. There's people who watch leaders. There's people that perpetually are in personal development. There's people that are there observing all the time what's going on, and they're free members, and they go and they pay minimal fees and they continue to go and they stay in and they never go anywhere. They stay in the same place because they're watching. They're not playing. And it's not that everybody has to play. It's that you do what serves you. But the thing that's useful about, or was useful about that distinction for me, is I got to see where I was not engaged. Just like how I've grown in Noble Goldman. I came here almost as a have to, because Ricky wanted me to be here. And I came here because I love Ricky. And he was all insisting about how this was aligned with Success by Design. And to be quite honest, I didn't get it. Then I got here, and instead of watching, I decided that I was going to start playing. And as soon as I start playing, all kinds of things opened up for me. And now I'm really happy to announce that I'm about ready to start my own mastermind and my own Gold Star group. And I couldn't be more excited or thrilled or scared and like I've got all those things going on. Don't know how exactly, but I got lots of support and lots of people that are going to show me. And what a wonderful place to be in for me. It's exciting. It gives me butterflies to think about it. And you gotta sometimes say, Russ, you talk too much. I'd really appreciate that from you. Just say, okay, thank you, Russ, for your contribution. Shut up.
Thank you for giving me permission, Russ, but I'm not going to do that. We all enjoy your contribution. But as I put in the comments there, and I know you don't see the comments, when you said you love Ricky, I really do think you need a checkup from the neck up. So book yourself in with the doctor.
Yeah.
It's and like you say, we're not in control of what anybody assumes and perceives in regards to what this or isn't. And we can only do our best. And I know that I've got quite a few people in my network who, in particular, are coaches, and they're dedicated to network marketing. And when I it was funny because Beth and I were having this conversation about, she's like, you spend a lot of your time creating this and you're separating it for different audiences. Why don't you just do one? And I said, because the second you mention network marketing, some people instantly run a mile. And I don't want somebody to run a mile, and I'm not in control of that, but I don't want to do what I'm doing to drop that seed and then run away, when really, if they heard it a different way, especially if I'm speaking to a coach, I'm not going to mention network marketing. I'm speaking to a coach, I'm speaking her or his language, and therefore I'm going to keep them engaged through that. And if they come in, they will then see the value potentially, or there's a higher chance, because on the outside, with all due respect, that isn't where the value is. And like you said, Russ, on the outside as a spectator, that isn't where the value is. You've got to get on the court, you've got to get on the pitch and start playing and looking for
exactly
the ball or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's such a valuable distinction. At least it is for me. Yeah. By the way, I am out to really do damage to the image of network marketing, like the current paradigm of what people think it is. The flag I've been flying recently is, I don't think there is such a thing as a network marketing company. Which really people go, huh, what are you talking about? And I say, well, you tell me a company, like an owner of a network marketing company, that truly locates themselves as a network marketing company. They don't. They locate themselves by the product that they sell or the product line that they sell, not how they sell it. And yet the paradigm is, oh, that's a network marketing company. Well, tell Mary Kay Cosmetics that. Tell Avon that. Tell Melaleuca, tell Frank Vandersloot over at Melaleuca that he's a network marketing company, and see what you get. Because they're either denying. So there's something going on here, and people have collapsed the distinction of the system of distribution, which is network marketing, with a company that supplies a product and distributes it through network marketing, which is a system of distribution. And I actually had a young fellow, he was great, and he was talking to me, he'd done all this research about how crooked network marketing is and all the stuff that he found out that how it was bad and it didn't work and all this stuff. And he said, you know, I mean, it makes me think that all network marketing products are scams. And I said, well, now how is that? And he says, well, you know, they're inflated in price and they people just pay them to buy them to make money. And I said, well, wait, hold on. I said, now, so are you saying that if you found out a product was made by a company that uses network marketing, you wouldn't use the product? And he said, that's right. I mean, that's kind of because it has such a, I go, okay, well, let me ask you a question. What if you were just against products that are sold online? I said, have you ever bought anything from Amazon? He said, well, yeah. And I said, well, okay, so what if you just didn't buy products on, I said, it's okay. I said, why don't you buy products from Amazon? He says, well, I don't believe in Amazon's business practices, slave labor, and I don't like Jeff Bezos, or, you know, I don't like to, okay, that's a good reason not to buy products on Amazon. What's not a good reason not to buy products on Amazon that's cutting off your nose to spite your face is that Amazon chooses to sell its products online. And that actually is the same thing that's going on in network marketing. People are saying, oh, no, network, oh, is that a network marketing company, that product? And immediately they dump on the product, which got nothing to do with the way it's distributed. It's got nothing to do with the value of the product, which is actually all the company is interested in is marketing the product. So you've got this huge disconnect with distributors and companies because guess what? They just got involved with a network marketing company. Oh my gosh, is that ever where the trouble starts? So I really, personally, I'm on a crusade to kind of damage that one, you know, and have people see network marketing for what it is. It's a system of distribution. It's how people behave in it. It's their relationship to network marketing that needs to change. That's what needs to change, actually, because you're not going to change network marketing and distribution system, right?
Right.
Oh, so I mean, I'm loving what you're saying there, and I'd love to understand this side of it from your angle. What is the difference then between network marketing and direct sales from your knowing?
Direct sales, well, here's where I see how it was collapsed. Direct sales had more prestige than network marketing because direct sales was insurance. Direct sales was Fuller Brush. Direct sales was door to door. Direct sales was encyclopedia salespeople and vacuum cleaner salespeople. But even then, it had more prestige than network marketing, this pyramid thing where everybody gets paid in the different levels. And oh my gosh, and you buy. So what happened in an effort to give network marketing prestige, and I remember actually when this happened, it was actually back in the 80s, around the same time when network marketing was called multi-level marketing. And then they thought, no, you know what? Network marketing sounds a lot better. Call it network marketing. Don't call it multi-level marketing. People know what it is. And then it was like, oh no, it's direct sales. That sounds better, direct sales. And so all these semantics started coming into play to give network. Oh, and not only that, you know, it's taught at Harvard Business School and Columbia. Nonsense. Never. Not in a million years. Do you know more millionaires have been made through network marketing than any other? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? That's nonsense. And so I had a friend, you might know him, John Fogg. I still have him, still my friend. But John Fogg one time wrote an article called The 5 Biggest Lies in Network Marketing. And these were things that, and they're still repeated today. I was talking to someone on the phone today, and her upline in a company was talking to a big group of people and said, you know, network marketing is taught at the most prestigious colleges in the, oh my God, it just gets repeated. Nobody ever stands up and says, hey, and by the way, you guys, this is why my book is called The Skunk at the Lawn Party, because guess what? You know, that's me. There's so much that's out there that isn't true. And to get to your question, I mean, or back to your question, Martin, I believe that direct sales and network marketing are actually the same thing in some ways and not in others. But I think the collapse came to give network marketing more prestige, because the companies that were just direct early on, Avon is a good example. Now, Avon has always had a tiered system, but nobody thought of it that way. Your Avon lady was, the housekeeper that peddled, the Avon products around Christmas time. And Tupperware is another one. And these were direct sale giants that happen to be multi-level, but they established themselves as direct sales. So isn't it interesting that in insurance, which has always been direct sales, one of the biggest insurance companies ever, guess what? A.L. Williams, that then became Prime America, who went and kicked the dickens out of all the term insurance companies, back in the 80s, and became a multi-billion-dollar company, one of the most, and now they're Primerica today. But that's, again, direct sales. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing. I know that it's been brought up a few times over the years, especially with being in Enagic, people breaking it apart. So it was interesting to hear how it was viewed upon to make the industry as a whole seem more authentic, if you will, if that's the right word.
I also think multi-level marketing is an oxymoron, because there's no marketing in network marketing. I mean, and back when they used to say direct sales, and they started with that, and then you had people say, well, I don't like selling. Now they created a new problem for themselves. So let's call it direct sharing. Then we go relationship marketing, like anything to get people away from what they just got out of, and it all creates a new problem. It's like, why don't you just, why are you so hung up on what to call things? Why don't you just chill and see it for what it is? But one thing that at least I haven't been able to observe it, is the marketing part of network marketing. Where is that exactly? Where does that take place? Because if you come from a marketing background or merchandising or anything in the conventional business world that we call those things, network marketing is a joke as marketing. It really isn't. It's not about marketing. It's about something. Now, maybe with the internet and what they're doing today with social media, that's really more towards marketing. But here's the thing, in my opinion, there's a danger there, because people are looking for a way to sanitize or make network marketing, the process, antiseptic. Just show me how to get to 1,000 people. Just show me how to get to 4,000 or 5,000. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to meet them. I just want to enroll them and have them buy stuff and make money. Just show me how to do that. Well, guess what? I guess there is a way to do that. But what gets lost is the process and the beauty and the principle of the duplication of a simple effort that gets the dual benefit of having a relationship. This relationship part, it's so funny, because I say, you hear it over and over again, this business is about relationships. Well, show me the trainers out there that are teaching people how to build relationships instead of sales technique or tips and techniques on how to get something from somebody, how to get people to do things. Instead of, aren't relationships, isn't that supposed to be part of it? Because if it is, it's the most dysfunctional family I've ever seen in my life. I see it all the time, Anyway.
Yeah, some serious gold shared there, Ross. Karen, Paddy, Fiona, anything you'd like to share around that?
I think that trend is turning a little bit, because you're seeing more and more coaches and marketing programs discussing relational sales versus just shoving something down somebody's throat.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I do think, and Russ, I do agree with you, but I think unfortunately the multi-level network marketing pyramid, it's like a thunderbolt through the average Joe's brain. Amway scamway. I mean, I think that's unfortunately the business has got a dirty, it's got a dirty tarnish. It's got to clean itself up. And I think with this new trend leaning more towards relational versus direct sales, I mean, you know, the encyclopedia guy knocks on your door. He doesn't really give a damn if you're having a nice day. Are you going to buy these books or not? They're heavy. I need to sell 20 of them by Friday. And I mean, the Kirby vacuum guy, I know I'm dating myself, but you know, all of these things, but.
Well, especially with encyclopedias, guess what? They don't exist anymore.
Oh,
There aren't any
I know.
encyclopedia salespeople anymore.
But I think
I've got
that,
4 sets of encyclopedias. I can't even give them away. You
there
know,
you
somebody
go.
may send his kids to college on me, you know?
But I think network marketing way back gave itself the dirty name it has today. And
Well,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that it needs, and I think that it's, I'm new to it, but I was one of those people where I'd hear something like that because, you know, I had people suck me into selling jewelry or Tupperware or whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't want tons of that crap in my house and I don't want to deal with it. But I'm finding as I'm getting clarification of my own ignorance that I do see it is not the dirty business that I thought it was. I have a 30-year sales background. I've done inside sales, outside sales. I've sold artwork, medical equipment, auto parts. I mean, I've sold everything. I've done door to door. I've done business to business. I've done phone sales. So I've pretty much run the gamut on that. And, but I'm excited to see that network marketing is not what I thought, that they are cleaning up, that the industry overall is cleaning up its act, and to see it go relational. Because I think that's more important to, rather than hit a number, you know, give and help somebody and make their life better and fix their problem, so to speak, via your product or what have you. That's
Karen,
Can I pop
Yeah.
in?
yes, please do, Fiona.
So for me, the way that I look at it is that for a direct sale company, there needs to be a customer. There needs to be a sale. So if anyone ever gets paid in a company on the basis of the sale not being made, they're the ones you want to steer away from. So
Those are
if there's
illegal.
an actual genuine
That's
bona
illegal.
fide sale being made from a product that has value and person gives money in exchange for that, you know, you can market that any way you like, you know, in a shop or in a network marketing distribution. It's all the same. The portion of the money goes to the person that immediately did the work, and then some of it, you know, filters up. But the companies where you have to buy all that jewelry yourself in order for you to maintain your position, or that someone else is getting paid regardless of whether there was any customers getting, you know, buying anything, they're the companies that have given network marketing a bad name. And you know, I've been in ones where we were paying, you know, quite a good loyalty fee every month to say. So people were making money based on us not actually doing anything, you know. So they're the scam artists. So I will never join another company that asks you to pay, you know, an ongoing membership fee for nothing. You know, not like Noble Goldman obviously is a completely different, because it's we're not selling a product to each other, we're supporting each other. But yeah, I personally would only ever join a company now where there is a physical product that has value, and that's what we trade, sort of thing.
Fiona, you've just defined what an illegal pyramid is.
Yeah.
What legitimizes a network marketing company, and there are network marketing companies that are legitimate on the face that operate illegitimately, or people can make them illegitimate by how they behave in that structure. But the definition of a pyramid is money changing hands without a service or a product of value being sold to a consumer, not just buying among distributors and money changing hands, or somebody, you know, it's not buying that you get paid, it's the selling. And that's the rub that the feds have on network marketing, is the consumption part, or the value to the actual end user or consumer. So you've really nailed it. And you did too, Karen, in terms of your perception for 30 years being a professional salesperson and seeing the image of network marketing. And I say this, it's not network marketing that this is the tough part for me. People call network marketing something like it's a thing, like it's a place, like it's a company. And network marketing is not a thing. Network marketing is a system of distribution. It didn't get its own reputation. People did by how they behaved in that system. Companies did by what they allowed to take place, out of their own greed. So now the only way that can shift is people behaving differently or having a new interpretation of the possibility that network marketing provides. And that's the flag that Success by Design has been flying for 30 years. A new possibility for network marketing working for people. Because guess what? I personally believe the way it's been taught, not that everything about how it's been taught is bad, but what has driven sales for decades is built on a bankrupt model. It does not work. And if it did work, I say this wouldn't be a $200 billion business, which is the volume that all the combined network marketing companies in the world do a year. It would be in the trillions. Why do I say that? Because there's 100 million distributors. Figure it out. That means the average distributor is selling $1,900 worth of product a year. That doesn't make millions and millions of millionaires. It might make a couple. But what would it be like if there were 50 million people making $10,000 a month? Now, what would that be like? And so everybody says, well, here are the numbers. Yeah, well, there's a reason why those are the numbers. Nobody ever looks deeply enough. I know we've gone way over time, but I've enjoyed this so much.
Oh, I'm grateful for each of our inputs, and certainly in regards to defining a bit more around that from yourself, Russ, and then obviously Karen and Fiona as well. It's great to hear it, especially because I know you're a coach in it, and I don't know if you have positions in companies at all, Russ, but I know Karen, Fiona, and myself do. And naturally, there's companies that are going to be within Noble Goldman and that we're potentially going to be opening up an account with. Irrelevant of having to do a presentation or anything like that, we obviously have the ability to leverage. But I feel that it's definitely with the conversations we have, especially with those people that, as we know, majority of people are looking for the negative. So when they're looking at a Noble Goldman as an overview and they hear or see in the MSI section MLM companies, it can create that level of, oh, hang on a minute, no, I don't want to be a part of that. So that level of communication, that level of training, that level of knowledge that you are choosing to share as well with regards to what you're adding into Noble Goldman with Success by Design, I feel is truly powerful and empowering, that we can all share the message and help shift people's perceptions or maybe the past experiences and help them understand that this is not what you experienced back in that time, or this is not what your friend Claire has told you what it is, because she doesn't know anything that she's talking about. And if you're going to believe her opinion, what other ways and other instances are you allowing people to take you on the journey that you don't want to go on? You're living their life,
Right.
not your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could just say two more things quickly. One is you bring up a point about, me being a coach, and, I've built some large organizations. I was fortunate, but I've had some large organizations in the past, and I haven't, for years I've been teaching my principles of Success by Design, but I haven't really seen anything in a couple years that's interested me enough. And I've always told people, like, I'm open. I look at different things, and and I consume network marketing products, and I join different things to buy products. But recently, I did become a distributor. And the wonderful thing about it is I like being a distributor. Quite personally, I'm not like above it. No, let me tell you I'll tell you how to do it, but I'm past that. It's not that way for me. And I recently found something quite by accident that all of a sudden it was fun. It was like, it was now, but it gives me the additional benefit of being able to demonstrate, to practice what I preach, to actually show it, that what my methodologies and thinking is works like that. So that's the one piece. And now I can't remember what the other thing was I wanted to say, but I wanted to get that one out, that I actually was doing something.
You can drop it in the after your 3 big takeaways, so we've all got we all learn it.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to say, yeah.
Yeah, well, look, guys, I'm going to wrap this up just because obviously we've gone over, but it's been of huge value. There's no doubt about it. So thank you each for your shares and choosing to join on the call as well. I really, really do thoroughly enjoy it, and I'm very grateful for your time and your wisdom and shared knowledge. So have yourselves a wonderful evening, day, wherever you are in the world, and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon.
Okay,
Thank you
thanks a
so
million,
much.
you guys. Yeah, you guys too. Really
Russ,
appreciate it.
thank you.